Hey guys, this video was specifically put together for the LEMFO LEM14 because that was the only watch that this concept would work on. That was 2 days ago. Already, the guys at fullandroidwatch.org have pumped out the exact same concept firmware you're about to see here for the Kospet PRIME 2 and the LEMFO LEM12 PRO, as well as now the LEM14. So, with this video, you can be watching it for basically any Android 10 watch that the FAW, Full Android Watch team, have developed this self-installing firmware for, and just run with it. So use this as a guide, and the LEM14 is the watch of choice to demonstrate how it works. Here we go. You can do this. Yes, you can. Greetings and welcome back to Smartwatch Ticks. We're a YouTube channel on the web at smartwatchticks.com. But you knew that, didn't you? Because you've been here before. You probably already have this watch. This is the LEMFO LEM14 Android 10 beautiful flagship smartwatch. If you don't have it yet, by the time you finish this video, you're probably going to want to get it. And you're going to want to do this. What is this? This is flashing. Oh, yeah. This is flashing firmware to a watch. But you can do this because it's really easy. The guys over at Full Android Watches, which created this particular firmware to be able to do it super simple, have brought this very first ever Android 10 firmware that you don't need fancy-dancy software to install. No, it's a multi-step process that's super simple, 1, 2, 3, like baking a cake. Let me tell you first of all where you can get this software. There's only one place, and it's at Full Android Watches. And I'll have the link for you to take you directly to this particular thread, which is entitled Unbranded S10 Pro International Firmware. It's update from an SD card, and it's suitable for the LEM14. No flash tool required. Now, I'm talking to folks with the LEM14. It's the only one it's set up for at this time when you're watching this. However, it's going to be basic universal international firmware, ideally for any Android 10 smartwatch. Keep an eye here. We'll find out more as we go along. So this tells you a little bit about it. That's the beginning of the first post. I'll let you read all of the details when you actually go to the link to follow through on this, because you're going to want to actually download a zip file to your computer. Now let me show you. This is what it says you're going to need to do. All of these steps, and we're going to come back here and go through them one by one together, because I only get a shot at doing this one time. I don't have the original firmware to go back to. It's going to work or it's not, and you're going to get to see it. This has got the original firmware from LEMFO on here. This new universal firmware, it's not from LEMFO. It's from the Full Android Watch gang. As you plow your way through the instructions that we have here, at the very bottom is a box on this website. And this is clickable. It'll take you to drive.google.com, a specific location where this zip file is located. You're going to want to click on that, go over there, and download it to your computer. That's going to be either a PC or a Mac. On a PC, my understanding is super simple. Boom, 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 and the file is downloaded onto your PC. On a Mac, it's a little bit more complicated, and that's what I work with. So I'm going to show you what you're going to get when you actually do it on a Mac. As you download the file, it's going to end up in your downloads folder as a zip file. Looks like this. And then it's going to automatically unzip itself, at least that's how it's set up on mine, and you end up with a folder that's got all of the contents that was in the zip file unzipped right here. And this zip file actually gets put in your trash can. You following me? Open your trash can and pull it back out. I made a particular firmware folder for LEM14, and I've got both the unzipped and the zipped version in there. When you connect your watch to your Mac, it's going to open up a separate folder if you have it set up properly, and in that folder is where you're going to copy over the zip file directly to the watch itself. So it's going to sit on the watch as a zip file. Same thing for you PC guys, just copy it from the folder into the folder that opens for your watch. This is showing up like a separate drive, like a thumb drive, and just copy it over there. That's the hardest part. The rest of it's going to be easy. So follow through. You're going to download from the googledrive.com the file that ends in .zip, this big long thing. When you get it to your computer, know where it is. It's probably in your downloads folder. Connect your watch up. I'll show you about that in a second. And make sure you're taking the zip file, not the unzipped folder, and drag that over to your watch folder. Okay, now how you do that? You got a cable that came with your watch. It may be white, black, whatever it is. It's got 4 pins and 2 magnets on it. And when you attach it to your watch, it's going to hug in there and connect. Now, the outer 2 pins here, you see those? That's for power. That's your plus and minus, and all of them have that. The inner 2 pins are for data transfer. So examine your cable and make sure all these buttons or pins are up. They're actually compressible, you see that? And sometimes they get stuck down. So make sure all of them, in particular the middle ones, are sticking out nice like that. We get complaints it doesn't work. That's oftentimes the result of this cable issue. So check your cable. You're going to be plugging this end into your computer. This end is going to go onto your watch, and if your watch is turned on, it should automatically show up on your computer. On the PC, it'll go directly into a folder, right? Like a thumb drive would. And on your Macintosh, you have to install an app called Android File Manager, I believe is what it is. And with that, it will automatically launch and create the folder I just showed you. Okay, now we're going to presume that you did that part right. You got the file downloaded and you've copied it over to your watch. You ready to go to the next step? Now, I'm going to jump in on myself right now for just a moment because I had a great conversation with Pablo11, the main man behind all of this stuff, and he said, this is one way of doing it from a PC or a Macintosh to download and copy the zip file over to the watch itself. But there's lots of different ways. In fact, you get yourself a magnifying glass. You could actually go on the watch itself, right? Go into the Chrome browser, navigate over to the same thread, get into the same download section, and download that zip file directly onto the watch. No computer needed. Or you could do it on your phone. Same thing, navigate with a browser, Chrome or Firefox or whatever browser you use. Get over there to where you can download it to your phone, and then transfer it from your phone, either via wire, or you could do a Wi-Fi transfer right through the WII Watch 2 app, the tethering app, which has a way of transferring files, if it'll handle that big of a file. Haven't tried it, but that's another way. Or you could actually, on your PC, bring up the specialized software where you can mirror your watch on the PC, and you actually can control it with your PC mouse and with your keyboard there, and literally do the whole installation right on your computer screen, Wi-Fi connected to your watch, and of course you're actually doing it on the watch, but you're controlling it from the computer screen itself. That's another way. Any which way you do it, at this point, you're at the point where you have got a zip file located on the root or anywhere on your watch. And now we move on. Here we go. We're going to come back here to these instructions. Just copy the attached zip file to the watch storage and turn off the network. Okay, I don't need the wire connected anymore. I'm going to go, on a watch face. I'm going to come down here, come over here, and turn off my Wi-Fi, turn off my Bluetooth, That's just brightness. I got everything else turned off. So you turn off the network. And now we're going to go to Settings, About Watch, and choose Wireless Update. Watch me now. From your watch face, you come over here. You start at the top. You go down to Settings. Okay. Oh, before we actually get to that, I'm going to deviate for a second. I'm going to take you all the way down to About, where it says it's the LEM14. I'm going to come all the way down here, and I'm going to show you my build number, and that's the stock build number in the version 1.5 that I have in my LEM14 right now. Okay, so I'm going to come back. So we're going to go to Settings, About Watch, and choose Wireless Update. Well, that's actually where we went. Settings, all the way down to About Watch, and choose Wireless Update. Okay, I chose that. Now, this is important. Long press the power button and choose square screen mode and press the back button. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get to the menu. Watch this. Press and hold. Choose square screen and press the back button, which is this one. And there we go. Now, everything you saw is in a square, right? Simple so far? Okay. Now, it shows in the square mode. In the top right corner, click on the three little dots and choose Local Update. Am I off the screen? I'm sorry. Right corner, three little dots, Local Update. Tap those three. Can you see here? And Local Update is the very first one. I'm choosing that one. And now it says, choose the zip file you copied across earlier and Flash will begin. It will take a while. There it is. You ready? Oh, that's a folder. We go through here. There it is. Okay. There it is, the long one, right? All these other things are folders. Tap on that, and it gives you information about it. Can you see all of that? And it says Install Now. We're going to do that. We're going to hit OK. Copying. Now, of course, you backed up all your data before you started this, I hope, if you had any on your watch. We get the startup tone. It's basically shut down, actually. And now it's going to go through the full installation process. And we'll be back when that's finished. It could take a while. Be really patient. Go do something. Take a walk. This is a good time to get exercise. See if you can get in at least 500 steps. There you go. Okay, now we're moving on to the second part, which is booting up. We got the Android logo now, not the LEMFO, because this is a new universal firmware, and it's not a product or directly supported directly yet from LEMFO, so it's going to go through a generic universal boot up process. It's unpacking a lot of stuff right now. Your first time booting up like this, it should take quite a while. Be patient. There we go. We're getting our spinning logo. Now it's invoking the Android operating system. We're still on Android 10. That's why it'll only work on the LEMFO LEM14 at this point, because that is an Android 10 watch. And everything is matching up with its processor and its OS. Okay, it says it's starting. We should be close. Twirling. And there we are, in the same watch face we started with. Let's take a quick look at it now. Slide down. That looks the same. Here we go. We were on the network before. Let's tap it and see if we reconnect. By golly, we reconnect. Okay, well, what about the rest of it? Come over here. Notice Settings is on the top now, and the font's all gotten small. What about our other apps that we had? Here's the stock ones. I scroll down. Look at that. AccuBattery, App Backup and Restore. All of my other apps are still in here as well. Cool. However, not so cool. You'll see in a minute. Coming back up here to Settings. I just want to check something. If I go into Display, come down here, look at this, You got the new Tap to Wake. Let's turn that on. Let's get out of here. Let's just get back home. There's our watch face. Turn it off. Double tap. It works. That's all brand new. So you think, I'm done. I got my watch back. I got all my apps. I got everything just the way I wanted it. And a lot of the new features are doing great. Well, okay. If you want to try that, that's fine. If you notice some problems, though, you got to finish the instructions. We're not really done yet. Once complete, it says, please make a full factory reset as this is a major update. That's it. No need to use the flash tools. We're basically done, okay? But you do need to do a full factory reset. When you do that, as you probably know, you're wiping everything out. It's taking you all the way back to the very, very beginning, like you just got the watch, except it's going to have the new operating system in it. There's a temptation not to do this step, especially if you've spent a lot of time configuring it just the way you want. Use your judgment on this. You've got it flashed. All the new firmware is in here, but it's highly recommended that you go into settings, go into system, go into reset options, tap on erase all data, take a big breath, and commit. Did I commit? Oh, it really is going to make me suffer. All right, do it already. Don't tell me. Just do it. Just do it. Lost everything. But that's all right. I have fun configuring these and putting them back together again, as you can probably tell. And I'll even make it better next time. Because now the great apps that I've always talked about that are not working in Android 10 are working in this new firmware. That includes display brightness. Check out the review of the firmware update we did on the Prime 2 to see how all that works. That's a little slider I can put in that can change the brightness on top of even the watch face display anywhere you want. There's another one called Floating Toucher. You saw how I could double tap to turn it on? With Floating Toucher, you can set it up, tap a little white dot that appears, hit a button, and it'll turn it off. You don't have to touch your physical buttons. So that's another addition that you can add to the thing as well. Basically, we are now done, except we're asking you, because of all of the effort that the team has gone through to create this, to get this firmware ready to go, to please give these guys as much feedback as possible. And really important, if you have an Android watch by any company, if you can reach out to the company and ask them to update the firmware to the FAW, full Android watch version of universal firmware, that would be really, really welcome. Because you see, the other watch companies, all of them actually, even LEMFO, has not yet approved of this firmware to be put on the watch officially or included it in any of their watches yet. So it's a very pivotal point right now in terms of acceptance of this new, completely new firmware. So please take time to get feedback to the companies. If I can, I'll put email addresses for you in the show notes of where you can send an email to say, basically, please update the firmware in your watches to the recommended full Android watch, Android 10 firmware. Of course, it'll only work in watches configured and confirmed to work with Android 10. The old Android 7.1, you can't update those to 10 directly. The processor's different. But all the new flagship watches that are coming out will have Android 10 in them. But will they have the really special firmware that's just been created? That's pretty much up to you. Okay? Thanks so much for watching. Oh, by the way, if you don't have one yet, then that's up to you too. And we appreciate it if you use the link in the show notes down below, because that ties us into the companies that are selling these. We've got recommended companies for both the LEM14 and the other models. And if you use our link, that's great too. All right, thanks for being part of the team, and we'll see you again soon. Well, there you have it, and a big, big shout out to Pablo 11 and the gang over at Full Android Watches at None. I know he's been hard at work with Pablo 11 getting this whole thing together. Head over to discourse.fullandroidwatch.org. That's the front door into this place. Create an account if you want to engage in dialogue. or link through the buttons down below, or follow the links in the show notes, and get yourself over there to the exact thread of the watch that you're interested in. At this point, I'll have it for the LEM14, like you've seen here, the Kospet PRIME 2, and the LEMFO LEM12 PRO. But you could be watching this anytime in the future. So if I have other watches that these guys have developed the firmware for, those links will be in the notes as well. Otherwise, just head on in the front door, gang, and navigate around. See what's there. This is just a tip of the iceberg of what's going on. There's watch faces for Android watches, really great ones with active touch buttons and animation and all kinds of things developed there. So a perfect resource if you've got yourself an Android watch to be part of fullandroidwatch.org.